Cytobiophysics Flower Formula 4. Flower Formula 4 Thistle is a very, very beautiful flower. Thistle, the crown, and this formula is called Relaxation, and it's a formula for the brain, for the support of the violet energy in the head. The intriguing thing about flowers is that the colour of the flowers has a great deal to do with their healing powers and their healing capabilities. Thistle is renowned for its support for the brain and the head and the thinking brain and the eyesight. The really fascinating thing about these flowers is that they have a profoundly powerful effect on areas in the mind, in the brain, in the eyesight, way beyond what we would normally expect from a pretty little flower. Flower essences, are extremely powerful. The interesting thing about Flower Formula 4 is that it has a really profound ability to support our relationships with our men and our fathers, particularly as little children. The father relationship is of very great importance, and really and truly how we grow up with our fathers and the family has a very, very interesting impact on the way we form relationships with men later on in their lives. Little boys want to grow up and be like their fathers. Little girls want to marry their fathers, and often marry people who are very like their fathers in many ways. When there is an absence of father in our lives, an absence of father relationship, a void for whatever reason, it could be that father's busy travelling, it could be that father and mother have divorced and that there is no father because it's a single parent home. It could be that the father relationship is soured or disturbed in some way, or it could simply be that we grow up very anxious about our fathers because they have ill health. Void of love and void of relationships plays a very profound role in the way our bodies function, and in particular in the way our heart beats. Violet energy is very intriguing indeed because it controls the tricuspid valve of the heart. The tricuspid valve is the conductor of the orchestra, if you like. And it's very, very intriguing that when we have a breakdown of father relationship, this will impact on the way our heart beats. Intriguingly enough, the tricuspid valve is the controller valve. It's the valve that controls the blood pressure and ensures that the heartbeat is stable. So it is fascinating that often when there is a tragedy or a trauma, and later on in life, the father relationship could be regarded as male relationships, partners, husbands. It could be regarded as brothers and bosses and people in our environment who fulfill a role of protection over us. So the father energy is much more infinite than we can possibly imagine. And there is a profound spiritual relationship between father and child. I've found throughout my life that when you see somebody who is not able to relate to the opposite sex, and particularly women who find it difficult to relate to men, it often goes back to a breakdown of relationships and family relationships in childhood. There is another aspect of Flower Formula 4 which I love, absolutely wonderful, and that is the key name, relaxation. You know, we often very stressed in modern society, and fascinatingly, relaxation is much more profound than we can possibly imagine. Has a lot to do with the circadian rhythm, and the circadian rhythm is the rhythm of day and night. So, frankly speaking, this has a very interesting role to support sleep and wake patterns. Sometimes when you're worrying about things, sometimes when you're not relaxed, sometimes when there's tension in the family, one is so busy worrying about things that one can't sleep. I find this really a remarkable little formula because it helps to calm and assuage the anxiety that often forms during the day, which impacts on the way we sleep at night. This is important because sleeping has a profound role in ensuring that our blood plates are active, that our serotonin hormones are properly produced, and of course these hormones are linked with healing. When we are concussed, we often go into a coma and sleep, and it's for this reason, there's a very profound reason for this, And that is because when we are asleep, our bodies heal. Platelets activate to heal wounds. It's like little boys fall over and graze their knees, and then in the morning they've got a little plaster on their knee, a God-given plaster. And that's because the platelets have been activated while that child was asleep. Sleeping is very important in modern society. We need at least 8 hours sleep a night. Clearly, we won't be sleeping all that time, but resting and sleeping is a tremendously important part of healing and health. This is a very, very interesting formula. It is a formula, and many of the flowers in this formula, not just thistle, are violet. This violet energy has also another extremely powerful effect on what we call the central nervous system. The cerebellum, which is the little brain which controls movement in the structure of the human body. Really and truly, thistle is important. It supports you when you're concussed, if you bang your head. I find this a very important formula for little children who are autistic. Often they bang their heads when they're in pain. And interestingly enough, babies that are brought into the world through elective caesarean often suffer with a sort of caesarean concussion, which this formula can help with. It is an antidote, and particularly it's an antidote to silver. Many people don't realise that silver can be quite a toxic poison, and intriguingly enough, 50 or 60% of our teeth fillings, the old amalgam fillings, are made of silver, and silver is an aggressive toxin. It can cause multiple sclerosis. It can certainly interfere with platelets and cause rashes and imbalances like shingles, and that's also a stress-related condition linked with herpes zoster. So there are many aspects to this formula, sort of hidden aspects, which are very, very supportive whenever one feels stressed. If you'd like to know more about this formula, please don't hesitate to contact us.